Yo, this is Deontay the Bronx Bomber Wild, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And I'd like to give a big shout out to CJ Goodfella, Sports TV. Bomb Squad, baby.
Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. 100% all natural products from lotions, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, and much, much more. Use the promo code Goodfella1Boxing. Tell them your boy CJ Goodfella sent you, get 18% off. We out. All right, Oscar Rivas calls out Dane Dubois. He also called out Andy Ruiz. If you don't know, Oscar Rivas has a co-promotional pack with Matchroom along with Top Rank. Let's talk a little bit about Rivas and Dane Dubois potentially fighting. We back, Goodfella Sports TV. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Appreciate all the love. Don't forget to check out our heavyweight boxing playlist if you like videos like this. And I think it's a good fight. I lost respect for Oscar Rivas, though. Oscar Rivas went along and played the role with the Dillian White situation, and he took the blood money. Now, what happened was Dillian White went into his fight with an unfair advantage. They didn't notify Oscar Rivas about that unfair advantage. Long story short, Dillian White they said he was cleared after months and months of hearing nothing from the UCAD, and Oscar Rivas ended up cutting a deal with Eddie Hearn. And like I said, all money ain't good money, but hey, it is what it is. He should have sued Eddie Hearn. He should have sued the UCAD. He should have sued everybody. But he took the money from Eddie Hearn and he took his loss and he hushed up. And this is a guy that wasn't even supposed to be fighting because he couldn't get sanctioned because he had eye issues. So that's why a lot of people ain't heard of Oscar Rivas. But like I said before, you lose to Dillian White, he ain't that good to me. Now, he did beat Brian Jennings. He was getting outboxed, and he pulled the rabbit out his ass, thinking the 12th round, and he got the knockout. But, Oscar Rivas would be a nice step-up fight for Dane Dubois. Now, Dane Dubois was posed to be going into a Joe Joyce class. Joe Joyce said he needed a warm-up fight. Joe Joyce, 37 years old. It's like it's now or never for Joe Joyce. You know what I'm saying? If Joe Joyce don't want to take on Dane Dubois, he want to keep fighting the Bermangster Verns and the Brian Jennings of the world, the clock is ticking. 37 is 37, 14 fights, or how many fights he had in the World Series of Boxing, or how many fights he had as an amateur. Those are fights. All right? 37 is 37. And you've seen that with Adonis Stevenson. When he became 40, he got closer to 40, he started to slow down, and eventually, he got up out of here. But with Oscar Rivas and Dane Dubois, it's a good fight. Rivas, he was coming from behind versus Brian Jennings. He was, he got been beat up by Dillian White. He one-dimensional. He looking for that one big shot. And I think Dane Dubois can really get some clout. I think Dane Dubois whooped Oscar Rivas. I don't think Joe Joyce got a chance. You know what I'm saying? And it's yet to be seen if Dane Dubois wants to oblige the call out. But it depends on how fast Dane Dubois want to move. He 20, 21, 22 years old. So I don't think they're in a rush to move him, but obviously they have to cross the street to make this fight happen, kinda. With Eddie Hearn signing, I think Oscar Rivas got that co-promotion deal in Matchroom, but Oscar Rivas is also signed a Top Rank. Dane Dubois got Top Rank ties through Frank Warren, BT Sports, and being cool with ESPN and Bob Arum. So it's kind of funny if Rivas would have to cross the street, being a Top Rank fighter, being a Matchroom fighter, Frank Warren promoting Dane Dubois, being tied to Bob Arum. I think the fight can happen on the Top Rank platform easily, or BT platform. But like I said before, Oscar Rivas gonna get that square business. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get that Orlando Brown. I predict he going to sleep. All right. I'm not sure he ever been stopped before. But Dillian White, he did drop Dillian White, so he did knock out Brian Jennings. He is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? But like I said before, he looked hella one-dimensional versus Dillian White. And I think Oscar Rivas probably would be a tougher fight than Joe Joyce at this point for Dillian White, but that's close because Joe Joyce throw a lot of punches. Joe Joyce is a huge human being, and he throw a lot of punches. Oscar Rivas looking for that one big shot. Now, Oscar Rivas not trained well neither. He being trained by them Canadian coaches. The Canadian coaches just lack something. You've seen it with Lucien Boutte. You've seen it with John Pascal at certain points. They just lack some sort of type of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And it's just something about their fighters, like UK fighters. They just lack back foot fighting. They lack defense. They lack head movement. And I think it'll be good for Dane Dubois to probably get an American trainer. I would say that to any United Kingdom fighter is to get an American trainer and come to America and spar if you want to be the best, because you're going to get every style here. You're gonna get the Canadian style. You're gonna get the Ukraine, the Eastern European style. You're gonna get all that front foot style you get in the UK. You're gonna get the slick style. You're gonna get that African style. You're gonna get every style you're looking for in America, and that's why it's important for a lot of these fighters that's overseas to train to America to get acclimated with all the different styles around the world, especially if you don't have a deep amateur background. But like I said, man, why not make this fight happen? You know, this could be a huge year for Daniel Dubois to put his right foot in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? He could beat Oscar Rivas and Joe Joyce. You know, you can't consider him a prospect no more. And the top of the division is tied up with Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury fighting, and Anthony Joshua's got to fight Puev and or Usyk at some point. So the division is tied up. You know, he really don't have to rush. He can take his time and be the next guy up. Because other than that, you got the Damian Rock guy out of Philadelphia. You got FN Jabway, who ain't looking too good. You got Felipe Harkovich. No, I'm not saying his name right, but hey, it is what it is. You got Trevor Bryan still lurking. You got Big Baby Miller trying to come back. So at the end of the day, Daniel Dubois, you know, going into this year, he can take out Oscar Rivas. He can take out Joe Joyce. The next year, he probably could put himself in position for a title shot. You know what I'm saying? You know, you never really know, but he gonna have hiccups. You know, you might see him get dropped. You might see him get hurt, stunned, do the stanky leg. That's all part of the process of being a fighter and proving that, you know, you're not a prospect no more, that you're a contender. So I think Frank Warren is moving right, but I think eventually he gonna outgrow Queensberry Promotions and Frank Warren Promotions. He probably gonna end up exclusively being promoted by Top Rank if he get good enough, but they need to have him in America. But that's a huge year. You know what I'm saying? Rivas and then Joe Joyce, and then if he fight again next year, I think they moving him better than they move Anthony Yard. And that's the key that Frank Warren kind of learned from his mistake. But bring the kid to America, let him spar, let him get acclimated to the speed. But just sparring the United Kingdom fighters, you ain't gonna get no better. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get no better. That's like playing preschoolers or playing kindergartners and first graders in basketball and you're a high schooler. How you gonna get better playing inferior competition? That's my thing. You gotta fight. You gotta come over to America and get that sparring. But you know, Rivas and Andy Ruiz is a little talk. That'll be an interesting fight. I like Andy Ruiz if he focused. He showed himself back in the gym, back on the treadmill, but I don't know how focused he is. And he's just so inconsistent on his approach to his training. But if he had his best and Rivas had his best, I like Andy Ruiz over Oscar Rivas. I think, you know, the best Andy Ruiz is better than Dubois right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's a tougher fight for Oscar Rivas. But like I said before, it's probably more into beating Andy Ruiz for Oscar Rivas than it is for beating Daniel Dubois. But I like Daniel Dubois to be a better fighter than both of them. I believe in him. I think he's going to get way more fluid in his movement. A lot of people say he's a little bit robotic, a little bit stiff. All that comes with practice. You know, it's just funny how people just took the FN job away and there was so many limitations there. And now people starting to see it. You know what I'm saying? Good 1-2 puncher, that's it. You need to develop a left hook, an uppercut. You know what I'm saying? You know, and people just took to him for whatever reason to be. And it may be because certain fighters are from the UK that, you know, they just don't get that respect. But this dude is the deal. He the real deal so far to me, man. And I like the way he fight. And I see the promise in him. And I don't have no bias towards a fighter that I think is good. If I think you good, you're good. I said about Josh Taylor. You know what I'm saying? I told people years before he fought, you know, Regis Prograis, that he'd fuck Regis Prograis up. And people want to make it seem like that was a close fight. That wasn't no close fight. That was an ass whooping. Regis Prograis won 4 rounds at the most. And the reason he won 2 out of 4 rounds because of the eye in the last 2 rounds. That's it. He want to carry himself like he didn't lose that fight, but you lost the fight. Like it or not, got your ass whooped. But the boys and Josh Taylor, they seem to be 2 of the more proactive United Kingdom fighters, and hopefully that's a foot in the right direction for those fighters to step out their shell and want to come to America and want to kind of move a lot better. But Rivas, you know, he should beat Rivas. It wouldn't surprise me if Rivas beat him. You know, Rivas is a solid fighter, but I just think Dubois got better tools, man. Rivas is so one-dimensional, very, very one-dimensional, very one-dimensional, looking for one big shot. And with Daniel Dubois, you know, if he sit in the pocket or he sit up close like he did with Dillian White and Daniel Dubois, you know, you don't hit Daniel Dubois with nothing that discourage him, he not going to last as long as he ain't going the distance. He getting flipped like a nickel. Going to sleep. Watch what I tell you. He going to get the shit beat out of him. He just too limited. You know what I'm saying? Oscar Rivas probably took the money because he knew he he ain't had no future at the heavyweight division. He just limited. He with Dillian White. He with Miller. He with the nucleus. He a limited heavyweight fighter. And Adam Kanauki, Charles Martin, Gerald, they just limited. They don't have enough skills to be a top guy. But that's my opinion. Check out our heavyweight playlist. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email if you have a business question, require sponsorship, video quest. I'll link a source in the description proving this to be true. Let me know what you guys think. Who you got, Rivas or Dubois? One time for the one time. We gone.